Hey everybody, it's Lord Magicus, and we're going to play some Historic this week. So, Jumpstart is now legal in Historic, and everything's been shaken up. There have been like a ton of new things added to it. There's some really new powerful decks out there, and unfortunately, Merfolk isn't really one of them at the moment, so I think we're going to try playing Spirits for a little bit on here and see how we like it. It's very similar to like the style that we play with like Merfolk in Modern, where we're more of a tempo deck with it. But yeah, we're gonna experiment with this, and one of the reasons that we're going to is I think Spirits is just in general a better version of Merfolk in Historic right now. Merfolk normally could compete with Spirits when it has like Island Walk and Spreading Seas to help enable that, so you still have evasion, and tempo at the same time with, beefy lords. But problem is, we don't really have those things in Historic now. So Spirits has like all the cards that they really need to be successful. Maybe not all of them, but they have enough of them. And yeah, the Merfolk deck is just missing a whole bunch of stuff that makes it really important. Aether Vial matters a lot more for Merfolk because it needs it to be able to play at flash speed better, whereas Spirits have Rattle Chains, and Rattle Chains lets them play all of the spells that they want to play at flash speed. So that's sort of like Vial for them. It makes it easier to hold up counter spells like Lofty Denial, which is another a significant advantage that Spirits has over Merfolk. Merfolk can play Wizard's Retort in Historic, but the problem is that not all the Merfolk are wizards, and the Wizard's Retorts often costs 3 mana. Here, the Lofty Denial always costs 2 mana, so you can even you can play it as like a Force Spike for 2 mana, and it will still be fine. So on turn 2, sometimes maybe that'll be enough, but more often than that, it's just going to be a 2 mana counterspell because the deck, basically every creature in this deck wants to play has flying in it. So it'll be very hard to not have a creature with flying to make this a counterspell in turn 2. I can speak. To that end, you can play 4 1-drop flying creatures with Spectral Sailor, and they don't have like the Mausoleum Wanderer yet that they really would want. So the card that I think that the deck should try out playing is Siren Storm Tamer, because it is a flying creature that enables Lofty Denial, but it's a creature that is relevant, that counters spells and abilities that you really care about. So I think that it works in this deck, and it also gets pumped up by the Empyrean Eagle. It does not get pumped up by Supreme Phantom because it is in the Spirit, but it is a creature with flying, so it gets a boost from the Eagle, which is nice. And one other thing I should mention, the huge advantage that like Spirits has over Merfolk, their lords are 3 toughness. Why does it matter? Well, a lot of the removal spells, things like Shock and even Stomp, they deal 2 damage. Merfolk's lords are 2/2s. So if you just play like a Mara Regery, it can get stomped. Or if you play like, Merfolk Mistbinder, it just gets stomped, and then you don't have anything on the board. Whereas you can play Supreme Phantom into those things and still be fine. Same thing, Empyrean Eagle, it survives some of the more common red removal spells, so it's easier to stick lords on the board and try to build up power that way. Brazen Borrower also is a natural fit to this deck too. And again, it doesn't get pumped up by the Phantom, but it does get pumped up by Empyrean Eagle, so it's even better in this deck than it is in the Merfolk deck, because it actually can get bigger with Empyrean Eagle, so this is a significant threat here. Other than that, yeah, I think that the mana is also a lot easier because most of the things you want to cast are only, a single blue. And there's only a couple spells in here that we really care about that are going to cost white mana. So it's a lot easier to have, just play heavier into blue than, whereas in Merfolk you have to have green in turn 1 for Kamena Speaker a lot of the time. So It's much hard. It's much more demanding on the secondary color, whereas this is like a really just a splash in for a color instead of it being like a truly two color deck. So yeah, I don't know. I think Spirits has a significant advantage over Merfolk in this format, to the point where I don't know if Merfolk actually has a place in Historic now, because we haven't even talked about any of the other decks, but even just by like Spirits itself, it really feels like it's just outclassing Merfolk at everything that it wants to do. You know, in the place of Mara Regery, you still have stuff like Nebelgast Herald, which can tap down the opponent's stuff whenever you need it to. You can't like untap your lands and play like a million things, but this still gets out of hand when it lets you, you know, turn all of your creatures basically into Merfolk tricksters. And they all, like, you know, Rattle Chains gives them all flash anyway, so you can play like a Supreme Phantom and, you know, with this Nebelgast and just use it to tap stuff down on their turn, which is really brutal. This Hanged Executioner is actually removal on a stick, which is kind of nice. I don't know how often we might use its ability, but the thing that I really care about, Hanged Executioner, it creates 2 spirit tokens, which means if you curve like Supreme Phantom into Executioner, this is going to add 4 power to the board and still be a potential removal spell if you need it. So yeah, I think that, and the more lords you add to the board, like the fact that this makes an extra body is just really nice. So I want to test this card a little bit. Shacklegeist, this is also a very strong card. I don't think we want more than 3 of them, because they're not particularly great in multiples. You only really need 1 to do its thing, and it can only block creatures with flying. So it's, yeah, like Spirits is not a very good blocking deck for the most part. Now, it has a couple creatures like, you know, Supreme Phantom and Imperial Eagle actually have a fair bit of toughness to them, but for the most part, there are a lot of like X1, so this deck doesn't block very well. But to make up for it, it has a Shacklegeist, which means it can keep really key creatures from attacking, and then also has, like I said, Nebelgast to tap things down and Brazen Borrower to bounce things. So I'm not sure that it really matters that much. But the other really cool thing that Spirits gets, and again, it's almost like an extra Lord, but it's just like a super blowout card. It's Rally of Wings. This card, if you ever cast this after your opponent attacks into you because they think they're going to have a really good attack, you are going to decimate them in combat when you play this. So all of our creatures have flying, so it's going to untap everything. That means the smallest thing we're going to have is a 3/3 with like this. And chances are they're going to be 4 or 5 power when you cast this, and it's just going to be insane. You can use this to kill your opponent in one shot. You can use it to like kill all their creatures when they attack into you. It's great. So I really want to play with this card. Yeah, again, this is another thing, like, Merfolk doesn't really have a thing like this, where at instant speed, like, your board is just ridiculously big and kills them. Like, the closest you have is, like, Kumena, but you need to tap 5 creatures for that, and it has to live, you know, long enough for that to matter. Whereas this is just like, okay, it's only a one and done thing, but really, you only need to do it one time, and then you should be, like, winning the game after that point, so yeah, I don't know. It seems to me like this is just going to be, if you want to play like a blue tribal deck in Historic, you just kind of have to play Spirits. Like, I wish I had better news for you, but until Wizards puts more Merfolk stuff into Historic, there's not really anything we can do about it. There is going to be a Historic Anthology 4, but I think it's not going to come until later in the year, so I forget exactly when, but I know there is going to be a 4th one before the end of the year at some point, so I don't know, maybe they'll give us something like Lord of Atlantis, where it could potentially like help, or I don't know. I'm not sure what they could give Merfolk that's going to make it better than this at this point, but right now, I think this is the way to go. If you, like I said, if you want to play Blue Tribal, play Spooky Boys. So now, that said, I know I just spent like, you know what, like a good almost 10 minutes talking up Spirits. Historic is like a mess right now. A lot of decks have gotten a lot of juice out of the Jumpstart stuff that just got added to Historic. So there is so much going on. Elves and Goblins, for instance, are ridiculously powerful tribal decks in Historic now. goblins having access to Muxus is just insane. That card is not reasonable at all. And like, you know, elves having like Archdruid and to like lead the Stampede and, you know, clan callers, it gets out of control so fast. And I think they even have like Craterhoof Behemoth or something. There's just, or what is it? No, there's the, it's the 1-drop elf actually that kind of does it. Turns all of them into like 5/5 dinosaurs or something, which is just ridiculous. They have like a million creatures in play, and then they just kill you because they have like millions of mana. Yeah, it's just, there's so much going on at the moment that I don't know what's going to happen with Historic, but I don't know if banning Burning or suspending Burning Tree Emissary is going to do anything. Maybe it's not going to matter because all the jumpstart stuff is just so much more powerful. So, all right, let's play a couple games with this. We'll be playing like a few games each day in order to do this. Pick my. Oh, fuck. Alright. No, I think we needed to play... We didn't pick ranked, so... This is probably not going to count for anything. Alright. Sure. This doesn't look like the best hand ever, but... It's fine. Paradise Druid, okay. Let's play Shacklegeist. We can't tap this down, so we may as well attack. And then afterwards, depending upon what we draw, we might just hold this up and flash in the Spectral Sailor and maybe have Lofty Denial up. I don't care about you, doggy. I like my kitty. Yeah, that's fine. Now let's block it. We've effectively traded that 1 mana with, yeah, with their Paradise Druid that they just cast, so... Absolutely haram. No way. Get that shit out of here. And this is it. We're just playing the tempo role here, so we don't really need to do anything right now. Now keep in mind this Rally of Wings can just add like an extra 4 power to our board, so we're very close to killing them. If they don't do anything, I might... Okay, no. I said no. So I guess I'm gonna play Nebelgast Herald on this turn and then just kill them. They'll be dead. Yeah, Rally of Wings is just gonna fuck up their entire life. There we go. And that's how the Spirit's tempo plan works against, like, just the slow nonsense decks. So, you kind of got a taste of it there. Oh, did it give me credit for that? Interesting. Now, we want to be playing Historic ranked, though. That's where all the fun is at. I played just a little bit, just to kind of get an idea of like where I wanted to start with this list, and like I said, there's some crazy stuff out there. Like Goblins is just an insane deck, so we'll play a couple of these matches each day. I'll try to keep these at around I want to be at least like 20 minutes, so that's my plan. We'll somewhere in the 20 to 30 minute range, so we'll play matches until that happens. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit weird with historic in this format here, but I'm kind of testing how this stuff works right now. I have my new PC and everything set up on it, so this will be interesting to see how this turns out, but I think this is going to be fine. Interesting. Let's play Rattle Chains. So now our spells cost an extra 1 mana during their turn, so that's worth noting. So I can't play this during their turn, so I have to do it during my turn. But it's fine, because now I can play like Rattle Chains or Spectral Sailor in their turn to tap something down. So if they play any sort of flying creature, it'll be fine. Like, they're getting beat in the air for a lot. That is not going to do shit. It will do absolutely nothing. I'm not going to block that. It's going to give you more flying creatures. And I can still use Rattle Chains now on their turn to tap down this freebooter and attack again. Well, they can't take anything, so I don't know. Like, they know what my hand is. I guess they're just trying to get these out of my hand, so... You're not going to attack with the thing that matters, right? So, I'm not going to block that either. Sure. No, I guess I can just attack. Let's see, I have 6, 7, 8 right now. If you want to trade like this, that's fine. That is an interesting choice. Oh, shit! They're gonna exile my Rattle Chain. Wait, why'd you take Nebelgast? Why not Rattle Chains? I don't get that. What happens if I draw Brazen Borrower? Do I just win? Okay, that's fine. So I have lethal in play now. And this Lofty Denial can protect it. Yep. Nope. So that means they should be dead. Got him. I think they should have took Rattle Chains and not the Nebelgast Herald. That seems like a mistake to me. Yeah. Alright. Let's go. So, yeah, I might actually have to break this up into recording it in several different days. You won't notice the difference, but I might have to do some of these tomorrow. So the advantage of doing this format where I do like one video every day instead of like one long league is that now, depending upon what the schedule is like, it's already like kind of late here, so I want to make sure I have at least something to come out on Monday, which you will see. But And then I can record some of these maybe tomorrow night, so it'll be Monday night when the rest of the week is done. So it's an option. I might do that. This hand's a little bit slow. It's not terrible though. Like Rattle Chains into Eagle into like Executioner is not bad. I think I'm gonna keep it. We don't have a 1-drop, which sucks. Alright. But we'll see. What the hell? Alright. So it looks like they're gearing up to give something ridiculous protection. No, I'll just take 1 damage. So none of these have reach, so... Unfortunately, we did not draw the land to slam the Eagle this turn, which would have been very helpful. But we do have this. I'm not going to let that nonsense happen. There we go. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait. I'm going to play probably Nebelgast this turn. I'll take 1 damage, that's not a big deal, but now I can start playing things in their turn and tapping their shit down, so that's important. Yeah, like, this is not going to beat us, as we have evasion for all this, so... And that does not have flying either. I can just keep them from hitting me with anything relevant, which is nice. Alright, yeah, and like, we are just gonna deal a bajillion damage to them. So I can play Nebelgast and tap 2 things down next turn. And if I draw another land, can cast Rattle Chains in that. Yeah, that's fine. That's not really what I'm concerned with. They only have 2 cards left. That is not going to do anything. That means they're dead. Yeah, and we tap down 2 more other things. They have no hope of killing us, so... Alright. So... we beat, like, the white aggro deck. So, you know, when we're facing, like, anything that's not, like, ridiculously broken, I think Spirits is a really good chance, but... we'll play 1 more here, and then that we'll call it a day. Well, you know what, maybe we should go a little bit longer in this one, because the first 10 minutes we're really talking about the deck, so, yeah, we'll play a little bit more, I think. We'll see. It depends how long this one goes, so... I want to try to balance out the time so it comes out to about the same as a league. But yeah, there's some decks like that, like I said, Elves and Goblins here that are just like absolutely nut-crushing right now. But if you go up against anything that like has any sort of slow, mid-rangey plan to it, or even like that where it's just like a dinky plan, Spirits can tempo those decks out pretty well. And it plays at flash speed a lot, so it's easy to do it. Unfortunately, I don't think we can keep this. This doesn't have enough. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I don't really want to keep this, but I don't want to go to 5 either. This is not a good hand. This is really bad. It looks like we might be up against a control deck. So if they play Teferi, then I can just use a Lofty Denial to counter it. Okay. Yep. Alright, fine, we'll play this. And give you something to use a counterspell on. Oh! Well, that sucks. Now we can't play this one. Or can we? I can bounce the Erasure and then recast this thing at some point, so... I want to wait till I have like 5 mana though, so I can do it at the end of turn. I could just play the Brazen Borrower, but I don't really want to. Jesus Christ, why? I have so many cards in hand. If we ever tap out, we're in trouble. So they have counter spells. They just showed us one. They also probably have Shark Typhoon, which is not good. I don't... Yeah, this draw sucks against this deck. Like, I think this is normally a match that's actually pretty good, but we just have like a shit draw, so... Alright. I need more lands. I can't get by on this. Okay. They wasted a Shatter the Sky on, like, nonsense. Alright, I have to try to counter this. Because then, yeah, if like, once this resolves, our game plan just falls to shit. But our hand is, like, completely shit. We have failed to draw, like, 2 cards, basically, because of this Erasure. Problem is, like, I have to just do stuff now. If they have another sweeper, we're just gonna die. Alright, give up. Fuck that. This game was a total clusterfuck. Like, we just drew so badly. The mulligan was terrible, and then, yeah, not drawing the lands to cast the spells in time was not helping. I think the control decks are normally really good, just not that time. So, yeah, we'll play another one. Damn, yeah, no. I hate Teferi, alright? You guys know that I hate Teferi, and I think that it's pretty much the single worst thing that has ever happened to Magic the Gathering. I would rather have Companion back in the game than have Teferi in the game. Well, you know what? Okay, maybe... That's actually a debate. I don't know which one I hate more. Do I hate people being forced to build decks around a Companion more, or do I hate, like, the stack just being removed from the game more? That is really close for me. I don't know if I can answer that. This hand looks great. Orphan Guard. So this could be a control deck, or this could be some kind of tribal deck. Maybe this is like dinosaurs or cats or something. But the good, so like the cool thing that happens here is that we can just flash in Supreme Phantom at some point. They have nothing to do here. I might just play Supreme Phantom... Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do this now. Because then I can play Rattle Chains and then flash in this at some point. Okay, yeah, so that's fine. If they try to remove one of my creatures, I have a removal spell up for it. That's not going to do anything. We are going to just nut crush them. Actually, I could have just killed them by casting Rally of Wings. Oops. I missed that. Alright, let's let them think that they have a chance, though. They're definitely dead, but, like, we don't even need to cast this Rally right now. Yeah, alright, see, look, we didn't need it the whole time, even though I should have played it just, you know, for... I should have played it just to be good at Magic, but we didn't, so... This is, yeah, token deck. So, yeah, you can free roll the companion in this game because they're not playing any creatures, they're just playing all token-making things, so... So we just entered gold tier, so, yeah, when we go into Tuesday's video, we'll be in gold. So, fuck. I really want to get this over with and just finish this, but no, that's fine. We have more we can do for the next one, so we got our 20 minutes in for this. We'll open our pack. This card, I want to talk about this card actually. This thing I've heard is like insane in Modern. I haven't played against it yet, but this is revolutionizing Modern Burn right now. Between Riftbolt and Seal of Fire and Vexing Devil, it is actually surprisingly easy to like turn 2 or turn 3 this nonsense. You know, because you just like either suspend a Riftbolt or put a Seal of Fire out, and then on turn 2 bolt the opponent or Lava Spike them. You know, then they'll have taken either 5 or 6 damage, and then you play this for 1 mana. And now it's immune to Fatal Push. It's immune to Lightning Bolt. It's just going to turn every single spell they have into a Searing Blaze. It's, yeah, a 6/6 with Trample, like, is just an insane value creature. Just, it's insane. Yeah, this thing's crazy good. Yeah, and like I said, with Vexing Devil, when you play it, that Vexing Devil is a way that like you can like turn. Well, I mean, so here's the thing: either the opponent takes 4 damage off of Vexing Devil, or you get a 4/3. And in Burn, like a 4/3 for 1 is a pretty good deal. And when you play it on turn like 3, you know, if you play like Vexing Devil on turn 3, a 4/3 is not irrelevant at that point. If you have a Seal of Fire on board and you play a Vexing Devil, like your opponent, if they just take the 4 damage to get rid of it, they're basically inviting you to play this card. So more often than not, like, you know, if they've already taken like any damage at all, they're just walking into this. Or they can play Gut Shot. So on turn 2, you can play Vexing Devil just with like, you know, you have 2 mountains in play. You just tap 1, play Vexing Devil, and it's like, okay, do you want to see if I have Gut Shot plus Incinerator in my hand, or do you want to let me have the 4/3? Because yeah, it's just insane. So normally, like, Vexing Devil is not a terribly good card, but with Incinerator, it actually is a very dangerous card, because the opponent taking 4 damage for 1 mana is, like, very close to this thing coming out, and it's a really good rate. So it's a way that Burn gets to stuff Super Lightning Bolts in their deck, and like I said, even if they have the 4/3 creature, that's still normally fine. So, yeah, I don't know. This thing by itself is just an absolute menace. Yeah, that 6/6 Trample that turns all your spells into Searing Blaze is just, it's insane. Trying to stop this with like Master Waves in Modern is going to be hopeless because, you know, it's way too big. It's just going to attack through it. You can prevent 1 damage with Master Waves. Ooh. So Dismember doesn't even kill this thing. You need like Path to Exile exactly. That is the only card that is gonna like get rid of this. So, my God, yeah, Incinerator is like so good in Modern Burn. I think that we're gonna see a lot more of this in the future when we start playing some Modern again. So, all right, well, that's all we're gonna play for today, and like we will play some more Spirits for the rest of this week. So, I will see you in the next video. Take it easy, everybody.